welcome back to the channel. To my left, I've got the marvellous Matt.
Hello, Dan. How are you?
I'm very good. You?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Been a dirty week in Nottingham, but the sun's shining today, so all good at the moment.
Yeah, hopefully that's it. Good signs for another big week this week.
Well, it's been fantastic so far, hasn't it? We were sitting here a week ago and sort of hopeful things might go all right, and you could hardly have expected it to go any better. I sort of did I say 2-0 in the end for Blackpool? I think I said 2-0. So
yeah.
They exceeded that wild expectation quite comfortably, didn't they? So that was excellent, and followed it up on Wednesday.
You got the Blackpool one, right? Not Blackpool, the Coventry scoreline, right? Between them.
Well, some of the you get some of exactly. I was one game ahead as usual, sort of thing. So there you go.
I mean, 6 points out of 6 going into tomorrow. I mean, a lot of people would have took 5 from
these three.
Yeah,
exactly. No, like we were saying last week, we're well ahead of the game now, aren't we? I mean, the first one was the one you thought, well, we'll take a point and be done with it. 3 there, and then 3 again, which I thought Coventry were actually very good on Wednesday. They posed us a lot of problems. It could have been one of those nights where things went wrong, but we were confident, we went for it, and another good night. Fantastic result on top of the other one, and supposedly we've got the easier one to come now. And with Bournemouth losing another 3 points, Bournemouth 2 particularly tough games, and then Luton is a really pivotal game. Then, if we can get like 6 points out of the next 2 games, and Bournemouth potentially not get as many, and hopefully a fair few less, at least 3 less, maybe 5 or 4. The league table is going to look very, very interesting at that point.
Oh, it will be. I mean, it's starting to take shape now. That sort of like bottom half and top half, not because obviously quite a lot of teams still got 2 games down, and so it's like.
Well, now it gets the stage where you can start to look at their fixtures and say, it won't make your mind explode, and you can kind of say, well, they can't both win and so forth, and start knocking them out, and someone will come through from the pack, no doubt. But touch wood, it's looking good for us, isn't it? We're the form team. We're running into the top 6, definitely, maybe the top 2, and everyone's worried about us. And a lot of the teams we might be concerned about, like the potentially Luton a couple of weeks ago, were sort of seeming, really excellent form. But the likes of especially Sheffield United and Middlesbrough, who we're probably well advised to avoid, they've stuttered a little bit too. So you never know. It might. Well, we're chasing second place now. Yeah. And like I say, the next 2 games, we actually might seriously be chasing second place. So that's really good. I think that's really nice for us to be looking towards second place and not worrying about getting in the top 6. It's almost like we feel like that's done.
Yeah, I mean,
it isn't done.
Yeah, that's the other thing as well, because a couple of weeks ago we were thinking about getting into that top 6. Now we're in that top 6. Now we're thinking top 2.
Yeah, and we can do, because the other results have worked out, which they always will do. If you keep winning, it will be all right. That's forget about thinking too hard. Just win your games and you'll be fine. And now we've got the points, the games in hand, the kind of potential. It's in our own destiny now. So we've just got to keep winning, focus on ourselves. Don't try, like the old way of doing things, where you analyse the opposition. You play them twice a season, you think you can do a better job of taking them apart than they can do on their own team. It's not so easy, is it? Concentrate on your team, play to your strengths, and we're doing that. And like I say, I think Coventry they were good. They posed us a lot of problems, and they played some really nice attacking football. They didn't have many chances at the end of the day, which was good, but you felt like it could have been quite different. But we didn't we didn't take a backward step. We kept doing what we wanted to do. It was a really entertaining game, I thought. And yet again, we run out as winners. And it's just a great script he's got, hasn't he? He's got all these sort of patterns of things, the substitutions, the players off the bench, all making an impact. Not everyone played particularly well this week, I think. I thought Garner was unbelievably good, probably the best game he's ever played for us, I think. But on the whole, there were players that, slightly didn't have their best nights, but it doesn't matter, does it? They all went out there, gave it a go, win some, lose some, but we won the game, and that's all that matters.
I was saying earlier on an early video saying that we sort of just stayed in second gear Wednesday. We didn't really we got out first gear, but second gear we sort of stayed there, and we actually shown that we can stay in second gear, and we actually, towards the end, we still started to kick into third gear, which were quite nice.
They're confident, aren't they? It's confidence. I think they believe they're near enough the best team in the league, definitely one of the best teams in the league. And if you believe that, what you got to worry about? It's exactly what was wrong before is right now. There's a confidence throughout the club. They all feel part of something really special, I think. And they're right. Forest is a big story in the world of football at the moment. It's one of the big stories in England at the moment. If we go through and do what we look like we might be doing, we're going to be well and truly back on the map. It's exciting times,
Definitely. I agree. I mean, even the youth team getting to the final, beating Chelsea like they did on Monday, that'd be another big story as well. If we win that, it could be our first time in the Youth Cup final.
Yeah, well, it's fantastic that we got there. They've got some really exciting, talented players. It's a shame old Jack Nading got injured because he's one of their best, I think, and we'll be missing him for the final. But remarkable achievement. Obviously, the academy has been the one thing that's been good all through the years, and it continues to be. And the 23s are excellent. They've got players out on loan, and they're carrying on. And people like Finn Back missing on the fringe of the sort of first team squad and so forth. So, it's all looking good, isn't it? There's a few little issues with the team. The fullback areas are a bit of a concern because of the potential opponents and all that kind of stuff, and Colback out of position and things like that. So I thought Jack actually, normally my favourite. I thought he had his worst half, especially the first half for us. This week, for example, although having said that, he made a goal, so he got an assist to his name, which was important with that cross. But that's one of the concerns. But we've had these players out just like with Graben, and we've kind of not noticed it, which is amazing. When you think, we've lost our fullback and our centre half, our central centre half. We've lost our only guy that ever used to score goals for us. We've just carried on. We've got better. Which is remarkable. And you've got to give Cooper all the credit in the world because it's not easy. Well, and the players, though, they obviously, he's doing the right things and they're responding to him, aren't they? And it's a joy to watch them now.
It is. I mean, we were saying it after the Liverpool game, like, we had near enough 3 hour back 5, as you call it, and we kept them down to 1-0. So, and McKenna came back on Saturday and he had that big impact against making that goal for Surridge. And even Wednesday night, Frid's been getting quite a lot of reviews for how we performed Wednesday. So it's showing that we're not missing all that low. We could go back first half, didn't have the best game, but he's performing as well.
Yeah, I think the danger with Colback is you end up playing him so much as a left back, he becomes not that great left back because it's not his best position. And when you put him back in midfield, he's kind of lost what he had. It made him a special midfielder. That's the kind of concern. But having said that, needs must, and you've got to kind of do it at the moment, I guess. I'd like to see. I was hoping Larea might get off the bench because there's a few players we could do with rehabilitating just in case we end up with the nightmare scenario of playing, I don't know, let's say Middlesbrough in the playoffs and then Sheffield United in the final, because it could happen. Can you imagine? And then we don't have, fit or not, we don't have 2 of our fullbacks and we have to sort of pull something else out of the bag. So, that's a kind of banana skin on the horizon. But yeah, you got to be happy with the way things are going, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Birmingham, we're beating them back in October when Cooper Ball started to take shape. I mean, I mean, I was saying they've got to be beatable all day long now. That if we get onto game 4 or 5, we'll be looking at 4-5-0.
Yeah, I mean, Agent Taylor's done a good job there for us, hasn't he? He scored a few goals that helped us along the way. They'll be without him, of course, which again will be something in our benefit because obviously he's been a major factor for them. And yeah, the away game was one of those turning points. It's a little bit like the Coventry game, wasn't it? There were chances either end. Samba made a couple of amazing saves, and they could have beaten us on another day, but in the end, we ended up thumping them and played some excellent attacking football. So it was one of those sort of cavalier, sort of guns at dawn type performances, and we came out on top. And yeah, you've got to feel confident we're going to win now, really. But it's always that thing, complacency, isn't it? Looking too far ahead. They've got, Cooper will be all over it, I think, and surely it won't happen. But yeah, let's just get the points on the board, and then we can sit back and enjoy them once we've got them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even with the squad that we got now, we got bar the fullbacks, as I said. I mean, even our front three, it's like that 2 games running, we bought the front three off. We changed it with another 3 where Lolly got coming back into his own. Surridge is he's finding this week really well. And Graben's just coming back. I mean, it's looking really, really good.
Yeah, and I mean, people like Cather and Silva aren't having the opportunity to get on the bench, off the bench now because of the likes of Graben appearing. And it's tough on them because the glimpses we've seen of them have been excellent. And like you say, Lolly was great. Graben's looking match fit straight away, isn't he? And Surridge, I think, is a fantastic player. He looks really full. He's got something, hasn't he? And he's a kind of complementary player, like Davis. I think that the great thing about them is they're all really different kind of strikers, but they can all score a goal. Davis, again, the way he turns and twists and turns and holds the ball up is incredible. They often talk about this with these guys where they say, oh, he's a handful and all this kind of stuff, and he'll, be a target man. And it never really turns out like that. You kind of think, it's all overrated, but he's the real thing. There's very few players you've seen over the years that can do what he does as sort of providing an outlet. So it's exciting, and I think we've got lots of options. We can play a back 3, do the back 4. There's a few issues, but it's like he's getting so much out of every player, and we're spoilt for choice, aren't we?
It's another good thing as well, which was obviously we like Martin, Lolly, Brennan. Yeah. If we do have to change formation to the back 4, we actually got depth in the wings. I mean, any of them lot can play virtually in that front 4, so, and gives us that bit of flexibility. We can even go 2 up top as well, and even with the back 3, Lolly can play in that number 10. Brennan can, Zink can. You can go 2 up top. It's like,
yeah, I've always thought it'd be interesting to play either Lolly in at number 10 or a wing back and put Colback back in the middle, but I almost think he can't drop the centre midfielder, so he's kind of leaving Colback out there because it solves all the problems, doesn't it? But and I thought actually some people were slagging Zink off, but I thought he went off early. But there you go. I thought old Zink had one of his best games for us for a long time. If not the best. There was one point where I think he was back defending. He did a really good tackle and ended up the other end nearly scoring. So I thought he had a lot of energy. It seemed like he'd been told, you're not going to have too many minutes today. run yourself silly as much as you can. So I thought he did okay. And like you say, Lolly again off the bench, he looked like his old self, didn't he?
Yeah, he's starting to get back to that form, and it's quite nice for him to get back. Just coming up to the end of the season now, it's like for him to get back to that Lolly that we know, it does just give us no like a secret weapon.
No, we're spoiled for choice. I just hope that we don't get into the playoffs and you get one of those scenarios where you end up with a team you never pick on the pitch somehow, just because the way things work out, an injury, a suspension, or something. It can always happen, but there you go. And the other thing, of course, is the goalkeeper.
That's the other thing as well. I mean,
yeah, that was an interesting thing that they kept Samba in. I think it looks like Samba's served his sentence now, and they're going to, restore him to the starting lineup. Horvath's a good keeper, and he's done his thing. But it looks like we look more confident, I thought, with Samba in this. When we've got the ball and the ball's on the, we're kicking the ball around the defence and stuff like that. I think he's that bit better with his feet. It just makes it easier. Yeah, Garner that pass he did was unbelievable, and there was a few other moments where people did crazy turns and stuff like that. It was, we had more entertainment on Wednesday night than we had the whole of the year under Hugh. We were looking for scraps for that whole year, and forget the goals. It was an entertaining game of football, and Coventry contributed to that. And the referee, dear God, how awful was he?
It was awful.
No, I cannot get beyond the way they allow them to do a rugby tackle on people on the halfway line. There's a couple of times. Keenan Davis didn't get a free kick all night, did he?
No.
It was like he kicked the ref's cat or something before the game. But he wouldn't give him a damn thing. And he was getting rugby tackled and playing on and so forth. They never went back and gave a card to their players. And guess what? They ended up being able to do it again. Finally, 60th, 70th minute, they give him a card. But the game would be a completely different game if it'd been booked after sort of 25 minutes or whatever it was. It happens too often. And Cooper was absolutely totally losing his rag about it, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. He's very mental. Even I think not Sam, but Davis got fouled going into the penalty area.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't give it, but get free kick something like that.
Unbelievable. Yeah. It was like you needed kind of clown noises, like all these kind of things to sort of, if it was on TV, that's what they should be doing, because it was farcical at times. And it keeps happening, but there you are. What can you expect?
I mean, even at least the fan that when they got the medical people active, the guy, at least he's all right. He tweeted out yesterday saying that he just celebrated the second goal and just got out.
So, Forest can be dangerous for your health, can't it? So
I've been saying that for years. I've been saying it to Mum, like Forest done me the death for me.
Well, it's nice for a change to be, in danger of over celebrating than sort of slitting your throat or your wrists when you get home afterwards. So let's go happy if nothing else. Never get good rest.
No, we don't, and I think we can prove that this season. We never do so.
Yeah, no. Well, it's nice now because we're playing our game and we're on the front foot all the time. We're asking the questions, and like I say, we're the ones getting fouled. We're the ones complaining about things against us. But long may it continue, because it means we're playing all the football.
Definitely. What's your score prediction for Birmingham?
Yeah, well, let's be a bit. Let's say 3-0. Let's go crazy. Let's not do our usual 2-1 or anything like that. So let's say 3-0.
Oh, I take that. I mean, I have quite a few people come up to me saying, "Is it 2-1 tonight? Is it 2-1 today?"
Yeah. No, let's go 3-0. Let's be realistic.
I take that. I take 3-0 or 4-0. I mean, I think we just seem to be settled back down now since McKenna came back in from that part of that Great Wall of Shine. It's like doing really, really well.
We're getting a delivery, so I'm trying to shout to someone else to answer the door.
I don't blame
Let
you.
me go. Let me go. They keep knocking.
Yeah.
All right. Nice one, Dan. I better go.
Yeah. Catch you in a bit.
3-0. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye for now.
Bye. Samba was well out of the penalty when one of the top goals scored. Yeah. Always take the 6-0. Definitely all day long. Anyway, guys, do keep. Oh, there we go. There was lots of space seats the other day, but I could not get another ticket. Few didn't turn up in the. Nah, bet they just didn't turn up, or they just stayed in the pub. Anyway, guys, do keep on subscribing to the channel, like it, become a channel member as per usual. More to support the better. Do subscribe. I like to thank. Oh, the sound of Matt talking is coming through your computer and being picked up by your microphone, of course. I probably need to put the echo thing on, to be fair. But yeah, definitely. Cheers for that. So I'd like to thank you for watching, guys.